Hello everyone, this is Evershade, and 2021, what a year. Again, I feel like I say this every year, but especially this year was very interesting in terms of where we went after 2020. Because I remember, I think in the back of 2020 I said something about a year of recovery or something, but this time, it does feel that way a little bit, at least for me, but still, like, hopefully 2022 as well, like, we can like recover from all this. But in terms of 2021, I thought at first, oh, where do I even begin? Because there was so much like in the fandom that happened this year. One of the main things that like really caught my eye this year is how much MLP and stuff really kind of took to the public eye, and there's different examples of it. For one thing, a lot of different animators like outside the fandom, but like still were popular, made different animations with like the characters and such, or even their own characters, which is pretty good. Like, you got the word out, I feel, of the show in the fandom. And another thing that kind of like brought the characters back into the limelight was the Mortar Toy meme, which somehow like made a third resurgence, it feels. I don't know why people are still memeing at this point, but you know, it happened. So like that brought Twilight Sparkle into the forefront. But like I was saying earlier about the music, there was just so much good music that came out this year. I would have thought that 2021 was kind of 2011-ish, where, you know, it's all like party, like, because we got through a tough time again. I mean, we're still in the tough time now, but instead of like being all party music, kind of, it was really good music, but in again a different way. It was more like discovering new genres, having different emotions and feelings that were, I guess, inspired by the tough times as well. And we have like the compilation albums such as Ponies at Dawn, State of Sugar, Quantity, and all that are still making, getting noticed on Bandcamp and such. But one example that I really like, still like astonished kind of happened was Violet's CUTIEMARKS album. That was released this year because like I think it gained a lot of hype because of all the singles that were released, and you know, every single that was released before the album was really, really good and catchy. And that kind of like built up momentum, like especially Antonym, one of, like, I argue probably one of the biggest fandom songs of the year. That also hyped up the album a lot. And when it was released, you know, it got #1 on Write You Music. I mean, let alone it was like a really short time, but still. And I mean, like, even it got kind of like noticed by even like different YouTubers like I watch and stuff that are not even in the fandom, which, I mean, that's amazing on its own. But I mean, yeah, like by far that's my like album of the year for me. And I mean, we gotta like address the elephant in the room here about the G5 movie that came out in the latter half of this year, because, you know, it started with the bed sheets back in like March or something, which is funny to see the fandom just blow up over, just because of those bed sheets, and they got so many fan art for the 3 characters on it. And then with like building up to it with trailers and such, you see more promotion out there. So with this new generation, it's getting marketed again, so people are like rediscovering or realizing like the MLP, I guess, franchise, and then inadvertently kind of see maybe the fandom at some points, like maybe on the internet with fan art or such. And then when the movie released, I'm pretty sure it was like #1 on Netflix. I forget under what category exactly, but it was, I guess, children's maybe, and like overall it was like #5 or something. I'm totally wrong probably. But just the recognition it got, and then again, then the MLP movie was talked about by some non-fandom members, even like just movie reviewing and stuff, and that's like awesome as well. And also with 2021 here, we also got the return of the cons, finally, where we had, at least in the US, we had Everfree, Northwest, as well as Ciderfest, and then Trotcon 2021, where we'll get to in a little bit. And also outside the US, we also had a lot of other cons in Europe and like other countries as well, which is pretty fun to like see. And I mean, the online cons still happened as well. They're probably going to be less than them. I mean, they shouldn't go away, because like even like people that can't go to cons, it's pretty like nice for them to be able to see different things. But yeah, overall in the fandom, at least 2021 like saw like a lot of different unique and different unique media and such with MLP. And that's the best I can like describe it all like in just one kind of sentence area. So now this is the part of the video where I'm going to be talking more about, I guess, like my time in the fandom and like my stuff. So like if you're not interested in that, you can, I guess, click off now. But for me now in the fandom, where do I even begin? Like I've said like in the past, like 2020, there was like a big writer's block, was kind of struggling a little, and I was taking up different passions such as video editing and such. I mentioned I want to kind of get back into the groove of things, kind of show 2020 like, hey, you didn't affect me here, like I can still like do great stuff. And I made a big boost at the beginning, like for one thing, because I mentioned that like, you know, at the end of 2020, me and Luck released the Pony Life Friends parody, and somehow it ended up being on the top 25 of the year end, or like top 25 videos of 2020, which I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting, but again, thank you to everyone who voted for it. Like, it's probably one of like the biggest highlights of my time in the fandom, like just making it on that year end top 25 list, like, oh my gosh. So like the first few months of 2021 was kind of like preparing for the rest of the year in a way, like getting more music practice in and such. So I got a DJ controller eventually, like before the spring, and I signed up for a con to play at. My first was actually Babscon Online 2021. It's kind of funny, like I don't remember exactly what I did. It was kind of like wanting to find that passion again. You know how I mentioned in the past, like trying to find that drive again to do stuff. Performing kind of like sparked a new light, where like producing is fun and all, but like performing as well kind of just adds this extra layer of excitement, which I think like got me back into the passion about making music and such and doing all this in the fandom. And you know, I was like extremely nervous the entire time. Like I feel like I went through all stages of stress, if that's even a thing. But the crowd was like super energetic, super fun online, and it was just like a really fun time. And then after that, you know, I kind of just signed up for more online cons and performed at them. Like having the honor of play at a Ponyfest one, Trotcon Online and all that. And I think like it kind of like opened up this like new chapter here. For like at least quality of music, different kinds of music, and at least like that kind of thing for me. And I like kind of released like some new songs over the year. But I think the next part to get into is more about the latter half of the year, starting in like October to the end. Because then I went to Ciderfest 2021, which was my first con back for me since HarmonyCon 2020, which was over a year and a half ago, so a long time. Everything felt normal, and that's awesome. Like I kind of like saw the people I haven't seen in so long, and we had a lot of fun. I also met like a lot of new friends as well. Some people I wasn't expecting to ever meet, like different musicians and stuff, people I've talked to online, but yeah, that happened. And Ciderfest 2021 was a good time for me to practice performing in real life, such as Renegade Stage. Renegade Stage was so fun with all the different performers. Oh my gosh. But yeah, between Ciderfest 2021 and Trotcon and a meme video, I was kind of preparing for Trotcon 2021, where it was going to be my first main stage performance in real life at a con. So you know, the nerves were off the rails there. I think I've felt every like version of stress there is existing. And in the meantime for that, I released a song called Weight of the World, where it was actually off of an album from July. It was a compilation album from Duskar, and that song's on there. Check that album out if you haven't already. It's pretty like fun music to listen to. But when I updated it and put it on with this lyric video, which actually like took a little bit to make, I'm glad the lyric video like ended up okay, and people liked the song. It was a really fun song, probably my proudest yet. I mean, like there's probably gonna be better stuff I'm gonna release, and I appreciate the compliments people are giving on the song and video, with the whole like capturing the social anxiety aspect. But that was a part of the Trotcon set now, where, okay, like a kind of a side story. The thing I did for Trotcon 2021 was, I call it the Euphoria Set, and it's basically inspired off of two songs that, it's inspired off of a PMV I made called Euphoria PMV for the Everfree Northwest 2021 PMV showcase. And when I was making the PMV, I was like, okay, I have two songs to choose from here. Which one do I do? and I just decided to combine them both because they're both really fun songs. And they like both like this year captured a feeling of just happiness for me. So when I originally made the mashup and listened to it in the car one day, as I was like driving somewhere, it was a bright summer day as well, and I felt this just overwhelming happiness. And I didn't like have a care in the world, as in like I didn't feel any like negative thoughts. I wasn't thinking about work or tasks, errands and stuff. And I just like had this just overwhelming happiness about life. And that whole that like brief like feeling of listening to the song and like feeling that inspired like the whole set. Like let alone it's just like a collection of songs that go well together, and like some of them like have meaning to me. But that mixed in with the visuals, just oh my god, it was so much work, man. I'm so glad it paid off. I got a lot of compliments for it. And it's just so surreal about like thinking how like at the beginning or in 2020 I kind of had like this mindset of like, you know, I'm never gonna be on stage. I'm gonna be stuck where I am now and such. And like looking at myself now, if I would have told myself at the end of 2020 that I'd be like in this spot of like you played like on a main stage performance at a con by the end of this year, I don't know what I would have like thought of with that. But I mean, like it just goes to show that like, you know, anyone, you can like it sounds really cheesy, but like, you know, accomplish kind of like your goals or dreams and such, like if you just keep working at it. And again with the Euphoria set thing with the PMV was fun to make, and I'm glad like it also got like good reception, such as top 10 of August 2021 and such. And I'm like excited, like I really want to do the set again sometime like in the future, because that with the visuals, I was like so nervous about like matching up the visuals with the audio and such for the performance. I was practicing like weeks for it and such, but and as well with that con as well, getting to just feel the whole like musician experience, you know, a totally like new feeling to me at a con was pretty interesting to say the least, I guess. And I also like met again a lot more people that I've talked to online. Like every time you go to a con or something, or for me at least, I'm meeting in person people that I haven't met before in real life, and it's always a fun experience to like finally just talk to them face to face. I mean, even with masks on. And shout out to the cons for like following the guidelines to keep everyone mostly safe from during the pandemic with the masks and vaccine and stuff. In a weird way as well, Trotcon 2021 kind of felt like the beginning of a new chapter, for me at least. And I guess like I've heard other people as well say that. But yeah, for me, it's, I think like just a new chapter, as in terms of like, I've done like a lot of stuff that I never thought I would get to do. And where do I go from here now? Well, I mean, for one thing, I am like planning on going to like a bunch of cons next year. Because like if the con scene's gonna be fully back now, I want to make the most of it as I can. So you know, like HarmonyCon, Winnie City, Trot Summer, maybe Ciderfest again. And I mean, like there's also like new music I want to make too. Hoping to get like a lot, you know, more music out in 2022 and so on. And I'm hoping I can, you know, like get more chances to like perform in real life at these cons, because that was fun. Fun seeing the audience interact with them, and just see like what else I can like come up with like creatively to make these like sets fun. And like with the compliments like got at the convention and such, it was just so much too. They were just like all really sweet and stuff. Like some comments, like apparently like some people like teared up to my set, which was like, I mean, I'm glad like people like felt that emotion. That's like amazing. And obviously like these are like tears of happiness and such. Like I didn't make anyone like just cry out of like sadness at the con. I hope not. I mean, like if you felt sad during my set, I'm sorry, I guess. So yeah, in the end, 2021 was a fun year for like the pop culture, as well as like for me, it kind of felt like, in a weird way to say this, a comeback, a personal comeback, where like I fought like my self-doubts and such to do all this, and I'm very grateful for the people that helped me get to that point. And next year I have the honor of hosting the Top Brony music off of the channel. It is such an honor, because like after years of seeing it back in 2012, 2013, and it being passed down and now here, it's just amazing. I really hope we can do a lot with it, and hopefully we can get more votes. So make sure to go vote on your favorite songs to be featured on there. So yeah, thank you for listening and or watching, and let's hope 2022 is another fun year in this new chapter and see where things go. Oh, I gotta end in the hole at least here. There we go.